And welcome to week number 4. This week, you all will continue to write your annotated bibliography, and I also wanted to discuss a couple of things going forward into next week in regards to handing in your annotated bibliography along with taking the test. Last week, you all read about evaluating sources, like I said, writing the annotated bibliography along with finding sources. If you have any questions or any challenges about finding sources or using the Delta College Library, please ask me those questions. Send an email to me or post on the discussion board. Remember, you don't want to, or I should say at this point in the research, you don't want to rely on Google searches. You want to make sure that you use the online resources at Delta or make a trip out to Delta College Library. You'll find that finding scholarly sources or credible sources is a much more effective when you use the library search engine versus looking for sources on Google. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use Wikipedia. I always tell students to use Wikipedia to work for them. For instance, you can use Wikipedia to help ground yourself in regards to the information. So for instance, use Wikipedia to find some background information about your topic. Use Wikipedia to find out some keywords, to help generate some keywords to help you further research that topic. You can also scroll down to the bottom of the Wikipedia page and see if you can find some of those sources at the library that are listed on the Works Cited page of the Wikipedia page. But you never want to cite from Wikipedia or use information from Wikipedia to back up your source or back up what it is that you're saying. And the same goes along for encyclopedias or links that you just aren't that familiar with or you might question their credibility. And they discuss that in the evaluating sources section of your textbook that I had you read for last week. This week, as you continue to write your annotated bibliography, make sure that you look at the examples that I've given you. Make sure you look at those examples carefully and pay close attention to the formatting. So in a way, you are already writing your bibliography for your research paper, but with the annotated bibliography, you are describing each source. So when you're making those MLA entries, for instance, the author's last name, the comma, the author's first name, period, then the title of the book, and all the publication information, make sure you understand how that information is organized. Make sure that you understand the spacing, because I will be paying close attention to the format for your annotated bibliography. Now, when you get ready to write the research argument, you'll be able to take a lot of those sources from your annotated bibliography, cut and paste that, and use that for your works cited page, or you'll use this information to help you develop your thesis statement for your for your research narrative essay. One of the other things I want to make sure that you're aware of is that you will be having a test on June 4th. Test number 2 will take place on June 4th. One of the things that you want to pay attention to is making sure that you actively read the course material. Now, if you go back from week 1, you'll see that the double entry log is a way that you can help yourself actively read the material. If you would like some more active reading strategies, just shoot me an email. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I do have lots of active reading strategies that you can use to help you better retain the information. Again, when you're taking the test, it's not a matter of you memorizing the information, but it's being able to easily access the information from your book and understand some of the nuances in the arguments, understand the purpose of why this person is writing it, also understanding background information on the writer. Understanding the rhetorical situation will give you a better understanding of what you are reading. So essentially, I am testing you on how you're able to actively disseminate the information that you're reading in your textbook. One of the things that I'm working on right now, a couple of you have asked me if you can get the information, or I should say the right answers to test number 1 so you can find out what you missed. Currently, I'm working on that, getting that information from e-learning. I thought that that information was already available to you, but I'll make sure that I get you access to test number 1 so you can see what you've missed, because Test 2 and Test 3 will be cumulative. So information from test number 1 will appear on test number 2. Same situation with test number 3 in regards to information about from test number 1 and test number 2. Um, I think that everything is going great at this point. I will be going over your papers, your research narrative papers, and getting those back to you by June 4th. Keep posting on those discussion boards. On the discussion board, for instance, this week, I just want you to informally comment on your research progress and what challenges you're encountering, and then you'll reply to another student. But this is going to be set up for you to get peer feedback from other students, and I will focus on getting you feedback for your research narrative, and be paying close attention to the questions that you might have for the annotated bibliography. So I'll be peeking my head in and out of the discussion board throughout the course of this week, but my primary focus is to get your research narratives graded and returned back to you. If you have any questions or concerns, as always, I'm here to answer any questions. Post any questions that you might have to the discussion board, and again, send me any emails if you have any questions about the course material. One more thing that I want to direct your attention to is, again, that yellow section in the book. Now, I mentioned that yellow section in the book from week number 2, and I want you to go back and review that section in the book, because this is the part that refers to the conventions part in your grading rubric. So when it comes to grammar and word choice and usage, all of those technical aspects of the paper, you want to go back and review that and apply that information to your revision and to your writing of the papers for this course. So the yellow section of the book is going to focus on the grammar, conventions, usage, things of that nature. This week, I have you reading a section on dependent, independent clauses, comma usage, semicolon usage, punctuation. And again, I know all of that is review for a lot of you, but it's always good to refresh ourselves so we can become conscious of how we're using the language when we use the language to express ourselves. So again, have any questions or concerns? I'm here to answer any questions. Happy writing, and I will see you in cyberspace.